That's good.
Yeah. Called over. Pledge allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Kim.
All set.
All set. Approval of agenda. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the agenda for the June 26, 2023 regular Board of Education meeting. Do I have a motion? Shelley? Second. Matt? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that is 7-0. Okay. Resolved that the Board of Education enter into executive session to discuss employment history of particular persons. Do I have a motion? Wayne? Matt, second. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. We're in executive session.
We don't welcome everybody today, but we do not have microphones working right now.
Hey guys!
If you can just bear with us here, we'll talk as loud as we can, but we appreciate everybody coming tonight. We did start the meeting a little earlier, so we will continue on with the reconvening. So resolved that the Board of Education reconvene from executive session. Oh wait, we did that part. Yes, we did that part. So we are now on Board Spotlight. So with that, we have lots of things to do in our Board Spotlight, and I will hand it over to Dr. DeBarber.
So we're very excited this evening to recognize our student athletes, spring student athletes, for outstanding academic and athletic achievements this year with the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Championships, Regional Championships, and just outstanding performances. So with that, I'm going to have Mr. Campolita is going to come up to the middle here with one of our board members, Ms. Raven. We're going to distribute the certificates to the various teams, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each team before we call them up with their coaches. And Chris will announce their names so that I don't make a mistake. You can blame him if he makes a mistake. So we're going to start off with our boys New York State lacrosse champions, two-time New York State champions. So with that,
at this time, could I please have Joshua Armpriester, Braden Bolton, Nicholas Carey, Dominic Cusimano, Vincent Cusimano, Brandon Dusky, Carson Dial, Judson Ferris, Nicholas Foster, Brady Garcia, Dylan Garcia, Jamie Gipe, Aiden Green, Hayden Kinsella, Kyle Levy, Carter Little, Iggy Lamedico, Aiden Lehman, Keegan Lynch, Tiernan Lynch, Gregory Marinelli, Lucas Mattoon, Anthony Menichelli, Anthony Nicolucci, Tyler Nielsen, Patrick Otts, Braden Penafeather Stevenson, that's Patrick, Ryan Quinn, Zachary Sorrow, Garrett Sutton, Trevor Sutton, Trevor Valenti, Will Weekly, and Dylan Wertheim.
Want to give a round of applause to our students? Okay, did everybody get the picture?
Coach, you will reach out.
And I need everybody, smile. Perfect. Don't leave tonight, because we have snacks next door for you as well. So, yeah, stay right here before, don't leave. Congratulations.
Again, congratulations.
Yeah, I'll get this. Hey, keep yours. No, it's just not my hands. Come over here. We'll get you guys out. We're doing girls?
All right, next we have our girls regional lacrosse champions.
Olivia Bartlett, Carly Desmond, Kelsey Dwyer, Peyton Dial, Addison Garcia, Isabel Gebhardt, Emily Giancondo, Ava Graham, Elizabeth Hildreth, Sophia Ayano, Grace Lodwick, Lane Macknick, Jaya Madigan, Isabella Merbito, Sophia Muscolino, Sierra Natoli, Jean Neville, Leah Otts, Brianna Peters, Mia Posey, Cassidy Primrose, Audra Savani, Julia Schultz, Ania Truesdell, Alexa Zala. Girls lacrosse team, congratulations. Coach Tabor, if you are here.
I think half the boys and girls are in Maryland right now playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
She's an old Forge.
She's an old
She's on vacation.
Yes.
Smile, everyone. Perfect.
Congratulations, ladies.
I'll get it after for you.
You just sit there.
I'll get that for you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next we have our Junior 4 crew team who won the New York State Scholastic, their division championship, and also competed in the Nationals.
Yep. Junior 4 team members include Delaney Hitchcock, Emma Hutala, Sophia Cavallari, Aaron Seitzer, Campbell Boslett.
Smile. Thank you. Congratulations.
We also want to recognize the Novice 8 team.
Novice State members include Danica True, Abigail Wilburn, Josephine Butler, Emily Calkins, Grace Fortune, Alia Pearson, Lily Bike, Alyssa Luce, and Abigail Roth.
Okay. Congratulations.
Okay, outdoor track and field. We're excited to recognize national and New York State champion Solomon Holden Betts. And the New York State 4x800 relay team of
Logan Hayes, Jack McAllister, Jeff Raganese, and Solomon Holden Betts. We got Jack. Jeff. Solomon.
We also want to recognize the 8th place finish in the steeplechase, Noah Covert. And in a few years, he's going to be exactly where that man is, right there. On the girls' side, we are recognizing Sydney McKenney. Is she here? Pole ball?
Yes,
Sure. Come on down.
We need you. Oh, there you go.
On a side note, I pole vaulted when I was in high school, and it can be a terrifying thing. The fact that she does that, it's awesome. And as high as she's gone, it's quite an accomplishment. So congratulations.
At this time, we'd like to bring up the 4x4 members who finished 10th place in the Federation: Griffin Killian, Zachary Aria, Evan Smith, and Caleb Paul.
And last but certainly not least, our representative at the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Boys Golf Championship, Nate McGregor. I think we got everybody, right? We're not missing anybody, do we? No?
Thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you to the parents too for all your dedication to making sure these students Please don't leave without the refreshments.
Scary movie night.
How do you remember that name?
All right, I will.
to take this opportunity on behalf of the district leadership team, inclusive of members of the Board of Education and Cabinet, to wish and recognize and extend appreciation for our outgoing Board of Education members. Certainly their dedication and service to the Board of Education and the students, staff, and administrators of the Baldwinsville Central School District is quite admired. As most of you know, the last few years have been an interesting time in public education, and all of our board members have had to confront tough challenges and work collegially to rise above, all while helping students and staff and our community succeed. The board members have certainly done that over the last few years. They've all spent many nights away from their families to engage in this important work, and we cannot thank them enough for all that they have done for our district. So at this time, we want to recognize our 3 outgoing board members. Our first, we'll start with our student ex officio member, Azan Ashcraft. Next, we have Mr. Matt Yeager, who has served on our board since June, May-ish of 2014 through tonight's meeting. So many, many years of service. He served on a variety of committees. 2 that stand out in my mind are facilities and DEI, but I know he's served on many more than that. Over the course of his time. He has also served as vice president for 1 year, and he has been a constant in all of the discussions around the board table, and we appreciate all of his service. So with that, congratulations, you're going to be missed. Oh, yeah.
There. Your opening speech.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, well, I can say something now, or we can move on. Oh, I'm not one for a lot of big speeches, but I do want to say that the past 9 years have not been easy, but I do feel honored and blessed to have had the opportunity to serve in this capacity and on this board. What I'll remember from it is all the incredible people that I've gotten to know and gotten to work with over the years. I've seen firsthand how much this community supports the schools, regardless of the antics of this board sometimes. They've every year I've been on the board, they've overwhelmingly approved the budget, come out in record numbers to vote, to come to board meetings, to speak when they need to speak. So the engagement of this community is really something to strive for, and the support of the schools is really heartwarming. As we move forward, I hope they'll continue to hold the board accountable, look for board members that can serve with honesty and integrity, and really kind of get this district to a place of preeminence. I chose not to serve or run for another term. It wouldn't have been guaranteed that I would have been here, but there are a couple of reasons for that. First is, it was time to spend more time with my family. To say that being a board member takes a lot of time is a little bit of an understatement. And without their support, I wouldn't have been able to do this. So, I thank Dina, Eden, and Brian for their patience and support for this. The second reason I think I really believe we're in a different place moving forward. We have a new superintendent. I'm confident that Dr. DeBarbary will lead this district to the preeminent district we strive for. With this change in leadership, I believe it's also time for new faces on the board. A new era in Beeville. So, I'll be here in spirit, but I wish you all the best. Look forward to the great things to come, and go Bees.
since July 2011. He has also been a member of the Facilities and Technology Committees. I'm sure there's a few more that we have forgotten. He spent time just shy of 3 years serving as vice president, and then has been president for 1 year and 1 month. Again, Jeff, we can't thank you enough for all of your dedication to the district. You know, with sincere appreciation for what all of you have done. It is just remarkable, and for those, everyone knows it's an unpaid position, and you guys all go above and beyond, and we appreciate that. So congratulations.
So I feel like Matt stole my speech. Keep it short. I did my prepared remarks, I feel, came on Saturday, so I will kind of just go from the hip here. I joined this board. I'm not from Beeville originally. I started when my daughter was finishing up kindergarten. Wow. And I got to hand her diploma. So, on a good ride. And not being from Baldwinsville, this really helped me feel like home. So, I've enjoyed my 12 years. It's certainly gotten harder every year as it's gone. But I do believe I'm leaving with this board and this district in a good place. We got some great leadership coming in. We had the pleasure of having Dr. Davis help us get there, and I feel strongly that the board members going forward will do a great job, and I have no worries going forward. So I appreciate all the support over the years, and especially from you three. So with that, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you.
If I may, I've served 5 years with Matt and 8 years with Jeff. And both of them have been just superb leaders and always put the students first, always. I remember coming out of some pretty lively discussions from board meetings, and Jeff and Matt always supported the team. They were always good about, we may have disagreed, but we're a team and we'll move forward supporting these decisions. And that was greatly appreciated. I do remember, and Matt just has an innate moral compass, and he always knows how to stay in the lane for the board areas. He's really good at that. And I remember a board member describing Matt as our safe place, because if you follow his lead, you're always going to be in a safe place. Jeff has an amazing ability to juggle all these balls, and I don't know how you can keep on top of everything and still have good, insightful views. It just amazes me how efficient you are time-wise. But certainly, the students and the citizens of Baldwinsville have been very blessed to have your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Vic. Okay. I think we got one more. So, on behalf of the school board and the district, I'd like to present Dr. Davis with a little going away present here.
Oh, not necessary.
She has spent only 6 months with us, but it's felt like a lifetime. We've been through a lot over the last 6 months, and she really helped guide us through some tough times this year. It's been, well, in my 12 years, the most challenging of all of them, and we couldn't have done it without you. So we wish you luck on your next adventure, and we hope that you remember Baldwinsville for the great place that it is, and that you were able to help us out when we needed you.
Thank
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you. I do want to thank all the community, staff, administration, and board for supporting me. This is a great community. It is a great school. We have wonderful students. And, you know, I couldn't do it without the assistance of the board. I especially want to thank Joe DeBarbary. The power of two is amazing. Two people who don't really know each other have one focus, is on students and learning. And we were able to work seamlessly together with many distractions, many issues, many things thrown at us. But together we pulled it out. And I think it was good for the staff and community to see that two people that care so much, so deeply about a school and about kids. I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Jeff, I can't thank you enough. You pulled it out, you brought us forward, so we couldn't do it without you.
Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for all those great words. Azan, good luck with your adventures in college. We can't wait to hear about them.
Come back and tell us.
Yes.
Okay.
You better come back and visit us. Okay, with that, we will move on to correspondence, board activities, and committee reports. Did anyone attend the NISBA legal policy implications of school board committee webinar on June 7th? Sam?
I was able to attend virtually, and it was a great virtual conference, and we did a lot of reviewing of school board meetings and the processes, so it was very helpful. Great information.
Great. Anyone else?
I also attended that, but had technical difficulties, so I wasn't able to finish all of it. And I have requested that they produce or provide copies of the slide presentation to present to the rest of the board, so I'm just waiting for that to come in. I'll pull it up, everybody.
Isn't some of that stuff on demand after we do it? I feel like Jay said that.
Some of it is, some of it, this one I couldn't find,
Yeah.
so I sent some emails, so I'm just waiting for a follow-up.
I'm also.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
We had a couple special board meetings to take care of some other business on June 12th and June 14th. A great day on the 20th. We held our new board member orientation, and all the new board members were able to attend that. We have a couple of them here. Do you have any comments on that orientation?
I'll just, so I've been to a lot of sort of, bureaucratic orientation type things where you eat a lot of sandwiches. None of that here. It was fantastic. It was nuts and bolts and, information about kids in schools and legal responsibilities and just what it really takes to be a great board and be an effective participating member. Probably one of the best I've done.
Yeah, it really brought a lot up to date for me, and I want to especially thank Jeff and Joe and Colleen Heinrich for the information. It was well presented and very useful. Thank you.
We look forward to you guys having a good career on the board.
Thank you.
Continuing your board time. So another special board meeting on the 21st, and then the graduation ceremony on the 24th, which, as said before many times, the miracle that was pulled off by the district office. I'm going to stop there because I know Azan, I'm sure, has lots to say about graduation and being his last meeting. We'll leave that for him to tell. Does anyone else, other than graduation, have anything else they want to add to the plate here right now?
I wanted to add, I went to the theater showcase that the Baldwinsville Theater Arts Program had at the end of the year to kind of go over some of the stuff that they learned. I believe this was the first year that they offered those classes. And there was a lot of students, a lot of different things. They did some presentations, they did some singing, some plays, and then after they did their stage presentation, they had a bunch of different booths set up in the hallway just showing a bunch of different things on theater lighting, set design, costume design. It was awesome to see that they did all of that in 1 year. And the first year was pretty impressive, so I hope they keep up the good work.
Anyone else?
Just a huge thank you to our community for supporting the Moving Up Day, for all the seniors that were awarded scholarships. It's just phenomenal, the amount of money and the community support we have. So thank you.
With that, Azan, one more time.
So I feel like there's kind of an array of directions I could go with this. One being that there's been a lot of end of the year stuff going on. Obviously graduation being the most recent, moving up day, end of the year sporting things that have gone on. But it's also, this feels like my last thing to do at school. So this is, I guess, the closing of, I've been here for 13 years. So it's the closing of that too. I guess I want to reiterate what some of you have already said. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. There's a lot of really good teachers in this district and a lot of people that do really care. This board is definitely a good example of it. So from a student perspective, again, the work of all of you, whether it be support staff, even down to like bus drivers, I feel like oftentimes they don't even get the recognition that they deserve, but there's just a lot of people that care. And there's been a lot of work that's been done since, I mean, I feel like I started caring a lot about this stuff in like 8th and 9th grade. And it's been awesome to see the change even from 8th and 9th grade to now. There's been so much more attention that's been put towards things. If you look at programs like DEI, I got to be a part of this year, it's awesome to see that there's that light that's being shined on something that important. There's obviously still so much more work to do, but it's just nice to see. Like Dr. Davis said, this is a good district, and I don't know, I've got a sibling in the district, and I look forward to seeing she graduates in 5 years, so it'll be awesome to see what happens in 5 years down the road. I also have said throughout the entire year that there's been a lot of tragedy that's gone on this year. There's been a lot of difficulty that all of us have faced, whether it be as a school district, as a community, or at our individual schools. But we have come together time and time again, and that's something that this community is capable of doing again next year. I said earlier that spreading the idea of love, whether you're going through a difficulty or whether it's the best day of your life, is important. Just to appreciate the people that are around you when you have them around you. I guess too, like, I don't know, I said at the last meeting, I picked on Mrs. Nicoletti because she was here. It's just, I don't know, I'm just thankful for the opportunities that I've been presented. This opportunity alone has given me a lot of, I guess inspiration would be a good word for it. I've said that it's been a good opportunity to learn when to keep my mouth shut, because I don't get to say that much here, but you know, I don't know, it's also been interesting to see all of you guys come together as a team and present what you have to present to the public, even though there's been so much difficulty. So, yeah, and then at graduation, that was a phenomenal performance, and thank you to everybody who did put it together. All of you that spoke, I think, did a good job. And there was a lot of kind words, whether it be the administration. Mr. Denton always does a good job at pulling something together. He's kind of like the life of our school, you might say. A lot of kids had a lot of good things to say about Mr. Denton's speech and just bringing an energy to the room. But even Dr. Barbie and Dr. Davis, something that inspirational with as much emotion behind it. So yeah, I appreciate all of you for putting the amount of work forward that you put forward. And I'm glad I got to sit in this seat and see what I've seen. I'm probably missing a lot of things here, but I guess you get the point. Yeah.
Thank you for your leadership. You're an amazing person.
Thank you.
And I love listening to how you summarize and observe and just really value other people and value relationships, and your messages are great and they're right on. So you're going to inspire a lot of people in life.
Thank you.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Wish you luck going forward, and hopefully you've mentored your replacement here to follow in your footsteps.
I think she'll be good. I know that she's looking forward to it. It's a lot to get used to in the beginning, but it gets easier, and the administration has always done a good job. I send out an email every 2 weeks looking for updates, and they always have lots of things, especially at the elementary level. So yeah, next year will be good as well.
Great. Well, thank you. And okay. With that, we have the public participation portion. Do we have?
Yes, we have one speaker this evening.
Okay. With that then, I will run through the rules here. Public comment are welcome. They are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, for a total of 30 minutes of all speakers. It should not include specific individuals or positions. Unless appropriate, the Board of Education will respond by letter to those responses.
Board members will not engage in conversation or comment during this period. Specific employee or student concerns should be communicated to the superintendent of schools during regular business hours. We are all here for the students, and it is expected that everyone speaking tonight will follow these rules, and everyone present will model the behaviors that are expected of the students in the school district. The public is also invited to listen to the meeting live streamed, except it may be a challenge tonight without much audio, but we do appreciate you attending live stream. With that, Mr.
Okay,
Robinson.
I just came, I'll be really brief. I just came to say thank you. And I want to thank Dr. Davis for coming in a pretty crummy period in the Baldwinsville School District. I'm a retiree of the district. Kim was thankfully here doing my job. I really don't miss coming to meetings a couple times a month for several hours, but I really like working at Beeville. I live here, so I have kind of a vested interest. I really wanted to thank Jeff and Matt for their time. You guys are classy people. And I don't think the public really understands what it takes to do this job and to do it thoughtfully and not get excited. I get excited all the time, but to sit there and try to keep the best interest of the community and their children in mind, and that's what you guys always did. So I just got to thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for coming back. Okay, with that, we will move on to, this is where the meeting gets a little boring, so if you're staying for the whole meeting, I'm just giving you the permission to leave. Okay. That's your cue. Thanks for coming. Okay, resolve that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda pursuant to the attached. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Matt, second?
Second.
Don? Any discussion? Okay, being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, passes, what is that, 7-0? Okay.
Welcome to our new people to that.
What's that?
Introductions.
Oh, yes, with that, we have some, I'd like to say new people, but they're not new, they're just in new positions. Joe?
So we're excited to welcome Jenna Wolkin as our new Director of Pupil and Personnel Services. Next to Jenna is Michael Pope, the new principal at Ray Middle School. Next to Mike is Jennifer Medwood. And to her, my right, to her left, Amy Klimkow, Assistant Principal at Ray Middle School. Congratulations to all of you.
Yes, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in your new role. Okay, with that, we'll hand it over for leadership report.
I just want to thank Dr. Barbary for the reach out to Governor Hochul's office to allow us to use the Expo Center for the state fairgrounds. It was a wonderful opportunity to see such a beautiful facility and really have a facility that meets the needs of our students and staff, and parents during a difficult weather situation. Who would have figured that our rain date was rainy and every day after that is predicted to be rainy. So we'd like to also thank Mr. Hennessy and his staff at the fairgrounds for their leadership and their ability to pivot with us, as well as our sheriff department and our local police department here under Chief Levenchuk's direction for assisting us, and all of the staff and administrators that were present to really walk the graduates in, assist with every aspect of the graduation. We couldn't have asked for a more beautiful ceremony, and a special shout out to our music department, who once again amazes me. It was a powerful entrance when we walked in. If you watch Facebook and our YouTube, it's an unbelievable sight with the uniforms and the music. So I do want to thank our music department as well. Dr. Barbary, did you?
It really was a team effort, and hopefully the message that Dr. Davis and I were able to give to the graduates exemplified that teamwork, and certainly Chris Denton and the high school team and Jen Turpening, I mean, it was unbelievable. I know that I've only received positive feedback from families, and we're looking at, you know, what we do moving forward, and it seems like at this point unofficially that we will likely be back at that venue next year. We're working out a few pieces, but hopefully that will be the case. And
I'd like to add to that.
We're excited, and just thank you to the staff. I mean, the marching band truly was. It was awesome
Yeah,
to
that
see
was cool.
the students march in with their uniforms. It was the coolest thing.
Really get things pumping. That was
It
great.
was.
And I would just say, one feedback I got was asking, you know, it was somebody who really doesn't pay attention to graduation each year because it was their first year. And they said, well, why wouldn't they have a backup already planned for an indoor? And I told them, I said, you know, that's how we did every year. And then we came out of the pandemic and we wanted a big celebration that we could all be together again. And I reminded them that the last 2 years at the stadium was absolutely incredible. I mean, the weather was perfect. The skies were beautiful, the fireworks were amazing, and all the feedback after every single one of, or both of those was, you gotta do it again next, that is the best, and we tried to do that this year, but I reminded them that even our double backup day had rain and lightning, so, you know, I told them, you know, we'll definitely look at it how we do it, but I wanted to remind them that when we tried to do it outside, it was because everybody wanted it out there, and it turned out so amazing. So, you know, part of me is a little disappointed that we couldn't have it there, but I think all the efforts of this district, especially the district office, pulling, you know, the strings that they could at the last minute and making that such an amazing night. You know, I personally thank you as a parent of a graduate, but also just as a board president, you know, you guys really pulled through for this district, and I just want to thank everyone that was involved, so thank you.
I will say the one touch that I pushed to have was to make sure that building was lit red. And I asked my neighbor who was graduating if they noticed it when they left, and they said no.
I know. It was noticeable. My family
It was
walked
red.
out, and we
Okay.
went, you know what, the building's red.
Perfect.
So
It was
it was
red.
noticed.
Thank you for the
Okay.
state fairgrounds.
Yes. That was awesome. And
That's great.
number 2, the meeting format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've put, I know we had a discussion at the last board meeting about the proposed meeting format. We did talk about this with the new board members at the orientation. I know Vic and Don, you certainly can speak up. It seemed like it was well received by the 2 new board members, and so we just need direction. That's why it's on here, because we have to prepare for the reorganizational meeting when you're going to approve these dates and times. So we're just putting it out there for your feedback.
I can just start. I know my recollection of last meeting, I believe we had a consensus that we would try that format, and it was pointed out that, you know, we get through first half of the year, if we evaluate, or I'll say, if the board evaluates at that point that it's working well, then continue on as planned, and if not, make adjustments, whatever that may be, you know, different starting times, different, you know, whatever. But I believe when we left there that we did have, I know, you know, at least the board member or 2 did have some concerns, but I think overall we had come to the consensus that that was, you know, something this board wanted to try and explore going forward in the year. So
Certainly provides you a better opportunity to hear reports and not try to do it in the midst of doing other business, and not be doing it, hearing reports at 9 or 9:30 at night or something, which I think is very positive. And the only question kind of was, you want to start early, but is 5 or 5:30 better? I don't know. I know you have regular committee meetings at 5 o'clock, and I guess that's never been a problem, so that's my main word.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be here, but I think it's a good response to those criticisms that, you know, the board activities kind of happen in a vacuum, and, you know, that really isn't visible to the community, that, you know, all of this information and data and those kinds of things. So I think that it's an ingenious way to incorporate that, to, you know, provide that information and those reports that will be available for anybody to see. So I really think that it's a great idea that that was brought forward. And unfortunately, I won't be here to take part in that.
You
Maybe
can
on
still
that,
attend.
maybe on that
You
side
can
of the
still
table.
attend.
You can rerun.
They're
I'll be,
open-
I'll be
they're
over
open
there.
meetings.
I think it's a great opportunity to build collaboration and understanding of our roles. And I think it's a great opportunity to increase our knowledge and going forward, just working together with other groups and that kind of thing. I know that there's been other groups that have reached out to us recently about working closely with them just to build that community, and I think it's a great idea.
I totally agree with the new format, and I'm looking forward to not rushed through some of the committee reports, but actually working with the administrative team and, asking questions and being able to take the time and work with them, not just listen. So I think it'll be a good beginning.
Do we want to discuss the start time?
Oh, wait,
Or-
Don or Shelley want to say anything or comment?
Yeah, but I like the idea of, I just want to echo Sam's comment there. I like the idea of some engagement, some interchange between the folks representing and those of us up here. We have to sort of process that. I'm kind of a question-answer guy, so it works for my style. So selfishly, I like it, but I also think it's a good shift. It's always good to sort of have a different approach to sometimes the same goals over and over again. And so, I think the idea of just some not necessarily less formal, but more interactive engagement will absolutely add to what we do.
Yeah, a little jealous after 12 years of the same schedule every time. Now you guys change it up. Thanks. But no, I agree. I mean, I know there was some concern over 5 o'clock maybe being a little early. It may be something you guys want to consider if you want to do a 5:30 start. I know the discussion was balancing the fact that the administrators and teachers and employees that would be engaging the board are here all day. So there was kind of that balance as how long do we want to have them wait for us versus us getting here at a reasonable time. So I know, 5 o'clock was thrown out. I won't be on the board, so, I welcome input from that. If 5 o'clock seems to work, as pointed out, some committees do meet that early. Maybe 5:30 might be another consideration. I wouldn't start going much more than that because, again, we got administrators that are here all day, so I think it's currently set at 5, right? So I guess do we want to change that, or is that where the board wants to?
Let's start it there and see what happens.
For those who will be here next year. All right. I'm fine with 5, but I'm fine with 5:30. It doesn't matter either way.
Have the other two, Mr. Henty or Mr., sorry, forgetting his last
Gosowski.
name. Thank you,
Gosowski.
Gosowski, yes. Are they aware of the start
Yeah.
time? And that-
Yeah, it was went through at the orientation, and no issues were brought up at that time. Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay. Yeah, I do encourage you guys, November, December timeframe, evaluate and see if it's working, and by that time you guys should know if it's really working for you. As we discussed last time, change it if you need it. It's kind of our meeting, so you guys can make do with what you want there. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
So moving on to new business, resolved that the Board of Education approve the Baldwinsville Central School District Policy 3420, revise, retire pursuant to the attached. Do I have a motion? Move. Matt? Sam? Any discussion? Any?
It's just covered in other policies, what I
Yep.
understand from the board.
Correct, yep.
Right.
Okay. Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 7-0. Okay, moving on, resolved that the Board of Education approve the revisions of the Baldwinsville Central School District Code of Conduct pursuant to the attached. Have a motion?
Move.
Vic? Sam? Any discussion? These is same as what we reviewed last time, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay with that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. New course proposal. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the new course proposal for Ray Middle School, grade 7, pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Wayne?
Second.
Vic? Any discussion?
Looks like a great opportunity for kids.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
digital-
idea.
Same thing.
Great idea.
Computer science, digital fluency, absolutely.
Certainly need them.
I should offer it to the community too.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Approval of the strategic plan for 2023 through 2028. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the Baldwinsville Central School District Strategic Plan 2023 to 2028 pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Don?
Second.
Matt? Any discussion?
So I know this has been brought up in prior board meetings, but three board members participated in this also, right? So there's been a lot of board input, so good, thank you. Yeah, I haven't read all 500 plus pages, but I did read the overview.
I have a question on page 236, paragraph, I'm just kidding.
Panic for a minute. I knew that was in the appendix.
I already had it open.
I have an answer. Joe knew just what section you're talking about. Like 33?
We are excited about this, and we'll really drive what we do when we think about even Board of Education goals, district level goals, building level goals. I think everybody is excited about this, and I will say that all of the priority areas were identified from the community perception survey that was conducted this past fall. So this really is what our community has asked for. And the strategic planning committee, as the board members know that served on it, their role was to try to just bring this all together with the stakeholder group that assisted with developing this plan.
Well, I just want to, commend everybody on so I remember the last strategic plan. I wasn't on that committee, but I remember the process. This strategic plan, it's a big endeavor, to put this together. And prior to that, I believe, there was this kind of feeling of this, well, we've got this document we're going to put on the shelf. And the last strategic plan we did really changed that and got people engaged. And as a result, everything we have done, has been lined up with one of those objectives. And, I'm really excited about the new objectives that are on this one, the priorities that are on this one. I think that it's ambitious, but I know that you'll be able to achieve that and do great things. So, it's really, a big feat and a heavy lift, but I think that it's great from what I've read of it.
It's there, it's online, it's available to any community member, it's on our website, it's on the link here for tonight. There are slides that are there, there's narrative, there's slides. Dr. DeBarbary, when we presented the budget in the community at the town meetings, for the Rotary, for the Commerce, that was a slide in our presentation everywhere we went when we were out in the community. Also for our faculty meetings, that was a slide. For our administrative retreat, it'll be a slide, and for our opening day, it'll be a slide. So I would be shocked if anyone said they haven't heard about it, because we've been talking about it since January publicly, and have been we went to the PTA meetings. So it's a well-done document. Kudos to all of those folks that worked on it. It's amazing.
I just want to say that it was a pleasure being a part of the process. And it was super rewarding to hear that what the community wanted kind of lined up what we had kind of already had laid out. And I think it's great, and it's going to help us, I think, as a board to align our goals to work along with that strategic plan. So I think it's a plus all around.
I agree. Any other comments?
I really like the diagram, and once we created that as a team, I think it really drove us to what we wanted to achieve and our goals. And I think it really says who we are.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, and abstain. Okay, so that's a 6-0-1. Okay. With that, where are we? Oh, back to the SROs. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the contract agreement between the Baldwinsville Central School District and the Village of Baldwinsville for school resource officer and special patrol officer services for July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Matt, Shelley? So before this meeting, for those in attendance, we did meet with the chief from Baldwinsville and had a presentation on the upcoming SRO SPO program for next year. That's available if you did miss that. Thank you for coming today, Chief.
My pleasure.
So with that, are there any other questions, comments?
I'm sorry, just again, a public thank you to our police departments, Chief Levenchuk. It's been a pleasure working with all of these folks. I think we have definitely a wonderful support system in place, and we have a phenomenal team of police officers that are working with us in keeping our students and staff safe. So I can't thank you enough for everything that they do on a daily basis. And just their jobs are more than just mentoring students. It's being present, being part of their lives, and being part of our lives as we work every day, knowing that we're there as a team, and they're certainly, they have our backs and making sure that things run smoothly. So thank you.
Okay. Matt, do you have a comment?
No, just reiterate that, thank you. The folks that we have in the schools, and I said it to the chief earlier, and, are really the best of the best in terms of what they do, in our schools. So, the kids feel the quality and the caring that that's really what it is. They care about the kids, and you can't teach or train that. It's inherent, and I'm just so glad that they're there, and appreciate all they do.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Okay, resolved that the Board of Education approve the professional services agreement between the Baldwinsville Central School District and Children's Therapy Network for professional services from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Shelley and Vic.
Go ahead, Shelley.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, Shelley and Vic.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Resolved that the Board of Education accept the independent audit reports for the Baldwinsville Central School District for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 that were prepared by D'Arcangelo and Co. LLP, certified public accountants, and the district's corrective action plan for 2021 through 2022 and 2022 through 2023 pursuant to the attached. Have a motion. Was that Matt?
Matt.
Second. Don. Any discussion?
I just have a question. So will the board receive a report on the corrective action at some point during the year?
Jim? Yes, we can absolutely provide an update to that. If you notice in the corrective action, the state actually requires a date now of when it will be completed, which is why we had to bring back the one from last year.
Okay.
But absolutely, we usually meet with the audit committee in September-ish, so we usually would talk about it there, and then we can do a report out.
Great, thank you.
Was there anything that stood out different from last year's audit to this year's?
We had a totally different firm complete the audit. So the internal audit is the one that's always focused on a specific area. So I think, you know, the presentation of this firm is a little bit different, is a little more thorough. The main thing was the technology piece of it, and having an IT specialist come in and really look at the safety nets that we have in place to make sure that we're secure from the IT perspective, I would say is probably the biggest piece of it, which we were in very, very good shape, especially for the first year of having that level of scrutiny.
Good.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the resolution to adjust the June 30th, 2022 year-end reserve balances pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion? Second. Matt, any questions?
Jeff, it should actually be 2023.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Didn't catch that. Figured you were catching up.
Good job.
June 30th, 2023. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the rental agreement between the Baldwinsville Central School District and the YMCA commencing on July 1st, 2023 and terminating on August 31st, 2024. Have a motion?
Move.
Matt? Sam? Any discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the agreement with Derek L. Dorsey for October 2022 through May 2023 and October 2023 through May 2024 pursuant to the attached. Are those the right dates? Those are in the past. Okay, making sure. Didn't catch it. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Wayne, Matt, any discussion?
I have a question. Why are we approving a contract for last year? And did we already pay, has anybody been paid for his services?
So it's part of my job being here. I've gone through and I remember me saying I was gonna be making changes as I saw necessary. All contracts should be brought forth to the Board of Education involving any payment. These are ones that never made it to the board, so in order for us to make sure we're in compliance, I'm formalizing the process and bringing these contracts forth to the board.
So
It's
those are-
best practice.
Those are payments made prior.
Right.
Yeah, we're just formalizing. them.
Correct.
We haven't paid him yet, though.
For what year?
For next year.
For this current school year, 22-23, he's not been paid. But he has been working in the district with the DEI committee. That was an arrangement that was agreed to by the previous superintendent. But there was nothing formalized. And this is indicating it's not formalized for this year.
So he met with the district 6 times this
Yes.
school year?
He was a part of the DEI committee.
So again, this
Help
is,
facilitate that.
this is just housekeeping, cleaning up
Yeah.
processes that should be in place.
And the dollar figure here is a total, it's not this per meeting, it's.
No, it's total.
Total.
And then putting it in place for this coming school year.
Yep,
Correct.
so moving forward, when you have your reorg meeting, you're gonna see
See the
a
same
lot of
thing.
new contracts on your reorg that I've had reviewed by legal that will be on. So when you get your reorg meeting, you're gonna say, wow, we have a lot of contracts. You do have a lot of contracts, and we're working towards cleaning all that up.
Thank you.
I just want to say that, you know, Mr. Dorsey does a fantastic job. I've been involved with the DEI committee, and, you know, to have him as a facilitator is really a blessing. So, you know, I support continuing.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, so 6-0-1. Okay.
That was Don, right?
Yes. Okay, moving
Amanda K. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the agreement with Park Terrace at Radisson pursuant to the attached. Have a motion?
Move.
Matt? Second? Second. Vic? Okay, any questions, comments?
That is a assisted living in the district, and to help the elderly out in the event there was an emergency, that we are agreeing to allow our buses to transport them to safety.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
The only question I have on it is, what sort of liability is attached to that?
We have language in the contract that our legal counsel looked at and put some things in place there for you. Let me just pull it up for you for a moment. I mean, when it's an emergency situation, Don, see the
Right.
sentence there that they put in,
And
authorized.
That's right where I was going.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a good faith,
Applicable by law.
right.
Yeah, that was, okay. Thanks.
Good question.
Very good question.
Anything else on that one? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. Moving on to L. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the award of kitchen equipment purchase and install bid pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Matt, second.
Second.
Don? Okay, any questions, comments?
Which schools are that, is that for the Durkee project or?
So this was for multiple schools throughout the district. There's several units. There's holding cabinets, low temperature holding cabinets, a reach-in freezer, and electric combination ovens, and they're in multiple buildings.
I think I remember on our building tour in Ray, they were talking about it too, so yeah.
So this is actually part of the cafeteria plan in order to reduce their fund balance that we're required to do by law from the period of time where we were serving no charge meals for students during COVID.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. And to M, resolved, whereas the district issued a request for proposal for legal counsel, which proposals were opened publicly on June 9th, 2023, that the law firms of Von Shannon King, Farrar, Fiorenza, and Trespass and Marquette be appointed as school attorneys during the 2023-24 year in accordance with the applicable rate schedule or at a rate not to exceed $2.35 per hour in accordance to the fee schedule. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Second. Who was that? John and Wayne? Okay. Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. On to N, resolve that the Board of Education approve the disposal of surplus equipment and instructional materials pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Shelley?
Second.
Matt? Any comments, discussion?
Can I just ask, so what is the current process for this, for disposal?
As far as getting the.
How do you do it?
The auction.
How do you sell it? How?
If it's anything that is of any value, then we go through Auctions International, so we ensure that we get the best value in the open auction scenario.
Okay. Yeah, just that's when I think actually Jamie was the one who started that.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. I didn't want to give him any clues.
Oh, he's watching. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes 7-0. That brings us to our board roundtable. Anyone have any topics for roundtable?
that's something I'd like to think about a little bit, and it's appropriate since we had the SRO report tonight. And certainly commend past boards. I think when I left, we might have had 4 or 5 SROs. And now you've got one in each school, which is great. But it also occurs to me that we could use a coordinator and maybe somebody that would oversee things like a director of safety and security. I know this, it seems to me this could be time consuming, and I know David has a lot of other things to do. So I just wonder if we should consider a director of safety and security would coordinate this. Also, I think it would be nice to have somebody who's addressing bus issues and transportation issues, because I hear from time to time there's issues on buses, and I'm not sure, I know transportation department, I assume does that now, but if you had some professional interventions there, it might be a help. And there's poor bus drivers. I remember one time seeing a description of a bus driver. We want you to drive 40 kids and take care of them and discipline them and everything, and oh, by the way, you'll have your back to the kids all the time, you know. So they have a hard enough job, but I just think we ought to talk about that and see what possibilities there are. Along with that, I've heard that the high school and Durkee, they each have an SRO, but there could be a need for some additional help. That there have been a lot of, obviously at that age group, there's a lot of issues, and I think it would be nice if we could look at maybe having a floater on main campus that could assist in very busy times. So just my thoughts, and I hope we'll have more discussions on that.
Yeah, I see that in the strategic plan, safety security is one of the priorities. You know, the SROs, SRPOs are not the only line of security. We had our presentation on the weapon detection systems. We have, response plans, all those kinds of things that would, kind of all be involved in that. So, I definitely think it's worth discussion.
And I think it'd be great to get some input from our high school and Derby administrations and find out, see what their
They
thoughts
think.
on their needs and how that could help them.
Right. Yeah.
Anything else for, Sam?
A few board meetings ago, we talked about the possibility of submitting a resolution to NISBA regarding the pre-K and K age limit, moving it from December 1 to possibly September 1st, not us, but for putting forth the resolution. The deadline for that is July 14th, I believe. So, Dr. DeBarbery, if you want.
So when I knew that there's been a lot going on, I did draft something that I was planning to put in the weekly letter this Friday. Certainly, we have it up on the screen right now. Basically, what we would propose NISBA put out there to the membership to see if they would advocate with legislation to encourage legislation for this change to occur, but it gives you a little bit of a rationale as well. As Sam mentioned, families are forced, and we talked about this in the policy committee, families are forced to make pretty difficult decisions because of the December deadline right now. So what we'd be asking them to consider is that they move the date to September 1st, and so you see from that language in the resolve section, and also changing the age to 5 years of age. So what we would be saying is, if a student is 5 years of age, prior to September 1st, they must enroll in school. They're compulsory school age. It required the legislature to change the law with regard to compulsory school age. And then any student that turns 5 years after that would have to enroll the following year. So it takes that, what some people refer to as like a gap year, or just the difficult decision, do I hold my child back, out of the equation. which would make it easier. And this would have a trickle-down effect for universal pre-K as well, now that that's becoming a norm across the state. So if you're okay with, and the board wants to, again, it didn't take too long to do this, it's totally your thing. If you want, I'll put this in the Friday letter, and then you can marinate on it, and we can place it on the agenda for the reorg meeting, because I wouldn't want to submit anything unless the board chose to accept this and to move forward. So there'd be a resolution saying, yes, we want to put this proposal forward to NYSBA, and then if the board chooses to act that way at the reorg meeting, then we will submit it on behalf of the district. It doesn't mean that it's going to be approved, it's just that we feel passionately that this is something that we should address. And it's your call.
We had talked about it during our policy committee, and then when we reported out, it was brought out. I went back and looked at the meeting, and it was just a restatement of what we had talked about at the meeting. And just for the public, it's not that it automatically goes into law or anything. There's a lengthy process for this to even come to happen.
And these what do we call them, recommendations or whatever that we submit only then said, then it's voted on by all of NYSBA's membership to say even if they're gonna support advocating for this, not that it becomes law if NYSBA says it's good, so there's, like you said, a huge lengthy process that this just, is NYSBA behind this same thought, or, and then they let the membership of NYSBA decide, so. This is just one suggestion for them to consider amongst the many, we usually get 30, 40 of them a year at the convention, so, yeah. Okay, so you'll provide this to the board members?
I'll put it in the weekly letter, and if I'm
I'll have
not
to
here.
get to the new members on July 1st, too.
Correct, yep. We'll put it in
Discuss
for the
on
next
July.
two weekly letters, and if there's no objection, we can put it on the agenda. You can always pull it if you choose not to move forward. Again, it's not, there's no pressure. I don't think we've ever had something submitted in NYSBA, so.
Not since I've been around.
Yeah.
Like we've had one.
Might be a first.
I wonder, so this is basically just to kind of prevent that back and forth between anyone that's born after September 1st or before December 1st, correct? And then, is there any kind of data in regards to students that start when they're 4 versus when they're 5 in that age bracket, I wonder?
We can pull, there's actually more, we've had more, Dr. Davis and I sat in a few meetings this year, because we have students that are in the universal pre-K program this year, but next year they don't want their child to go on. They're young, and it's partially because of this December 1st date. So technically, a student can enroll as a 3-year-old in the universal pre-K program because they will likely turn 4 before December 1st. So we're just encouraging, and then they have to sit out because the parents know that they don't want their child to go into kindergarten the next year, so they have to find their own means, whether it be outside pre-K programming, but we can't hold them back because that's not an option. So I've seen at least 4 or 5 this year.
Oh, so they can't choose to do like a second year of pre-K?
No.
That's
We
okay, I
can't.
remember seeing that.
There's restrictions on the funding.
Not through the PK program.
Through, right,
They would
not
just
through
go
the district, yes,
private.
right.
So you could
I'm an
go to-
October baby, so this.
Yeah. My kids were, my one
Oh.
child was in October.
I wish I started later, to be honest with you, because I was always the young one and all that.
It forces parents to have to make a difficult decision.
Yeah, my wife and I actually did this because one of our girls is born in November.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a great discussion.
Yeah, I
I'd
do
love to
too.
see it for July 10th.
July 10th.
Yeah.
Mark your calendar.
So we'll put it in the weekly letter, and then we'll wait for the board as we do agenda planning for the real meeting. If we don't hear any negative feedback, we'll have it on there, and you can vote yea or nay, and if it goes forward, it goes forward. If it gets voted down, that's fine. We've at least done our due diligence based on the policy committee's recommendation.
Thank you, Sam, for bringing that up.
And it may not even go through to NYSBA,
Right.
correct?
Yep.
So it would then be discussed at the fall meeting and voted all the school districts would decide whether.
Correct. Yeah, so I've actually placed, if Tiffany or Kim can scroll up on this, so Kim is the clerk in the district, is listed as the point of contact, so we would have to be available as a district just in case they have questions on, between 9 a.m. and 5 on whatever date it is there. It's like August 16th, I believe it is. And then, just in case they have questions regarding our proposal, and then from there, they'll make the final determination if it goes forward for the whole membership. Very cool. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, with that, we will move into exec. Resolved that the Board of Education enter an exec session to discuss a particular person's and attorney-client privilege. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Don, second. Matt? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we'll take a few-minute break. I think there's some food out there. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.